Alright guys, back to part 2 of the Howler Hustle for August of 2014. We just covered the Salem comic book convention. And I think I'm remembering this stuff 90%. There's been a lot that went on the last month. You know, if you know, I ran into Scott Connor. He was one of the guys that was there. He's a YouTube watcher, great friend. You know, and he was there. You know, he can probably remember things. And in between these things, you know, me loading and getting organized and stuff, you know, I'm sitting here watching Pink Floyd The Wall over and over and over again for like the last month and stuff. While this isn't like in the Criterion Collection or something like that, this is just like a perfect, you know, rock opera movie. You know, just throwing that out there. But anyway, so I get this other box out. I get ready to shoot the second video, and I'm kind of like, wait a minute, where did I get this shit? Okay, so basically what we have here is a mix of the D&J Hobby Shop comics I got down there. I think I got most of those for $1 a piece. Might have traded in something, I don't know. And this one of the line I ended up in Princeton at that comic book shop and got a lot of these for $1 a piece. And then I started digging through there, and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot about this. I even ended up in Mount Airy, North Carolina, probably about a week before the Salem comic book convention, and ended up getting some stuff out of 2 antique shops and a little comic shop down there. Ended up getting some really good stuff. So this next box is a combination of those. I kind of remember what I paid for them. I'm just not 100% sure which of those 3 places, you know, 5 places, 2 antique shops, 2 comic book shops, and maybe something else there where they came from. So right off the bat, I got these real cheap. Oh my gosh, what did I pay for these? Maybe 50 cents. Okay. And I've been trying to get Howard the Duck going here off and on. I've always read him. And right off the bat, I about fell down when I found this. Okay. And I'm going to be on the air of caution and say that no, I got this for $1. I think I got this out of Snoop's in Withville, Virginia, another antique shop. So I'm trying to say I ended up in a lot of places, found a lot of cheap comics. For you guys not in the know, this is Howard the Duck number 12. This is the first appearance of the band Kiss in a comic by Steve Gerber and Gene Colan, and I don't remember who inked it and stuff. And you know, the thing about Marvel first appearances and stuff like that really kill me, because a lot of them, you never know what is going to be considered a first appearance. They really just end up in the last page of this as a cliffhanger to get you to get issue 13, where they only pop up for 3 or 4 pages. When Wolverine came out in The Incredible Hulk, his first appearance wasn't 181, it was 180, and he's in the last panel. That's considered a cameo. Apocalypse popped up in X Factor number 5 on the last panel, but they say his first appearance is number 6, so I don't know, that's what gets me. But anyway, I ended up getting quite a few of these. Howard the Duck number 14, and everybody's been going gaga over Howard the Duck since he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He stuck around. Found this, you know, number 2 of the Black Panther, some freaking Bronze Age Kirby goodness. Just love that. This came from the Princeton comic book shop, Legion Lost and stuff. I ended up getting this for $1. Got this out of the quarter box. This is the 3D cover of Joker's Daughter from last year, which is technically, you know, Tales of the Dark Knight, I think, number 23.4. The Dark Knight, yeah, Batman the Dark Knight. So I ended up getting that. I knew that was a hot book. Got this for $1. Hell, I'm back to Sin City number 2. And let me tell you something. Sin City 2 is a freaking white, hard piece of dog shit. Okay? I was so disappointed when I saw that. And I was really glad to get this. This is the last issue of the Secret Six. Okay? With what I got, I think I'm about to collect. I think I almost have the entire 36 issue run. The Villains United one-shot, the Villains United 6-part series where Gail Simone, you know, was taking our villains and doing dastardly little mischievous things. But this is 36 into the series, and I'm pretty sure the only reason it ended was because of the DC 52. And I think it was just announced today that she's bringing it back, so that's kind of good. This was a cool find in an antique shop in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and I think I got this for $3.50, right? This was originally printed in 1967, and this is a revised edition from 1971 that tells the history of comics, the Penguin Book of Comics, okay? And it's pretty thick. It's got a lot of good stuff, but basically what this says is that this is the story of the strip cartoon since comics began, of the artists who created the characters and the characters who took charge of the creators. You'll find Jane Fluke, Popeye, Pip, Squeak and Alfred, Little Abner, Tarzan, Captain America, Peanuts, all the characters that are out of this world and stuff. And this thing is phenomenal, man. It's got the Katzenjammer kids. It has Plug. It's got stuff I've never heard back, going back, way back. It starts out with the political strips, and it moves on up. Excuse me. Turn of the Century stuff, the original Blondie strips. Betty Boop goes into what they were, their history, and the creators. And then it gets up into the 60s, and we get into Marvel. And here's what's really cool. There's a lot of good information in this, and it reprints in black and white a lot of the comics and the covers and stuff, and it actually has a few panels. And this book is in phenomenal shape. These are creamy white pages in this book that's over 42 years old. But here we got some awesome, jazzy Johnny Romita Spider-Man. Turn around, we got some Jet Kirby Thor cover and pages. Just phenomenal, fantastic stuff. And you can see the prose when we get into the history. But it goes into the Steranko, and then it gets really weird, man. It gets into this Terry Gilliam art from reminds me of the Monty Python stuff. And I can go on and on, man. But it does have color pages. There's Crazy Cat, stuff like that. So here's a little history. You know how I feel about the history of comics. And this was kind of cool. I got this for free. Apparently this was a leftover from Free Comic Book Day, but the DC Entertainment Graphic Novel Essentials, and I think they're in chronological order. So if somebody's starting to get into comics, you can just kind of throw this at them, and they'll tell them what hardbacks to get and stuff. Alright, then I think I got these. Oh my gosh, super cheap. They're in the 75 cents range, probably 50-cent range, because I don't remember. But I went ahead and got a #1. I had a Booster Gold #1, so I figured why not get a Blue Devil #1. There you go. There's your key. Alright. Some more Justice League. #5. Like I keep saying, I've had this run about 3 times, and it just keeps popping up. And I keep getting it. There's #25, and I keep putting it on eBay. And now this was a cool find. Because not only did I probably get these for quarter or 50 cents, when I got home I felt kind of bad because I didn't realize that there was 2 to a book. So I've got a little run of Sirens here, and I've heard great things about this book. So I hope it's not too good, because I'm going to end up, trying to fill in some gaps. So there's 21, 17, 14. This might have came from Daryl's comic book shop, the TNJ Hobby. I have no idea. 23. And I was really glad to see this Star Spangled War Stories featuring Mademoiselle Marie. It's a one-shot. This was a complete accident. It's a Brian Boland cover, and this is a great old war comics character. She was awesome. And it's by Bill Tucci. Okay, and I read it when I was a kid, and those old all war comics and stuff, like my uncles and my dads and stuff. So, got some Suicide Squad. And what's cool about this? It's the DC 52 Hunt for Harley Quinn and the origin of Harley Quinn. So, there you go. Got those super cheap, and then I got this for $1. $1 from DJ Hobby Shop. Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man #1, and this thing is in pristine condition. This is one of those things where I can just let you sit here and run it through. This thing is almost perfect. It was definitely pressed in something. And then somebody threw these in. These were promotional things for a Silver Age crossover they had in the early 2000s. That's a Joe Kubert Challengers of the Unknown. Some little Teen Titans. They're trying to reminisce as like it's Nick Carty, but I doubt it's him. Could be Dial H for Hero. There's just promotional things. Moving on, we got some really good stuff. Okay, this is Awesome Adventures. This is Alan Moore and Steve Scorsese. I think, I can't remember if this was Youngblood or a Supreme story. Never saw it, but it's very cool. Getting a really good run of the Invisibles going on here. Grant Morrison's Invisibles. Stormwatch 42. Don't know if I needed this one or not. I'm missing like 1 or 2 issues, so I ended up grabbing it. Didn't have a list. Couldn't get a signal to check my list. Then I got a bunch of Y the Last Man. Here's number 25. Number 36. And again, this is my 2nd or 3rd copy of this now, number 37. And it's the first appearance of DMZ. And every time I show this in the video or mention somebody, I'm told this is getting to be a hot book. So I have 2, 3 of those now. Number 4, I grabbed another Destroyer Duck. This is one of those series I just grab every one of them that I can. Number 6. Excuse me. There's number 6. And I think that's the one I was missing. I think I needed that last issue. Finding these finally. Getting a pretty good run of this, Captain Victory. If you didn't feel like I've shown these in a video before, I don't know, I need to check. But here's Captain Victory. And I'm so glad to find this. This is some really good Kirby stuff. This is number 4. That, I kind of dodged like the plague. It's from the early 80s at PC Comics. And man, it's a phenomenal read if you're a Kirby nut. Okay, this is if you're a Kirby nut. Terrible inker on it. If they could have got better inkers on this, it would have been fantastic. Okay. And there's what do we got here? Number 10. Really glad. I mean, I'm bound to be needing 2-3 issues of this. Number 11. So let me give you a little history on this to follow this. Okay. Jack Kirby came in and brought the Norse gods and Thor into the Marvel Universe in the Silver Age. In the Bronze Age, he goes over to DC. He does the New Gods, and it starts out saying that the old gods had died to make way for the new gods. And if you go through there, you can find in the panel of the New Gods somewhere, you can find one of the New Gods holding Thor's helmet with the wings and stuff. So it's pretty much saying he demolished the Marvel Universe gods to make way for the Fourth World Jack Kirby New Gods. So then he goes back to Marvel and he gets screwed over again. He gets screwed over by DC, and then he starts doing these PC comics and he starts doing some more indie stuff, and then he comes up with Captain Victory, where in the last issue you find out that he inherits some of his father's equipment, and it's Orion of the New Gods is what he's alluding to. So this is Captain Victory is the son of Orion, the grandson of Darkseid, and he's snuck in. Just give you a little history there. Here's some more Captain Victory. Number 13. I think that might be near the last issue. Some more Elementals. You're going to see these pop up. I probably got doubles of these. Number 3. These are from the 80s, an indie comic. And back then, the indie comics felt like an indie comic. They didn't have a commercial feel. They actually felt alternative. That's probably why I didn't buy them and stuff. They definitely were not mainstream. Okay, some more Elementals. And these are wraparound covers. I should be showing them. This is him, Bill Willingham, doing the thing. And here's the cool thing about Bill Willingham that kind of made me notice him. His artwork started to remind me of some of the TSR Dungeons and Dragons books of the early 80s and stuff. Like I started around 84, 85, maybe, around that time playing D&D with some older guys. And it turns out Bill Willingham was an artist for TSR. And I think he made up a role-playing game called Villains and Vigilantes and stuff. So I'm definitely wanting to look at these. There was 3 volumes of the Elementals, 2 of which Bill Willingham was involved in, and I think Comico just went ahead and bought them out. Okay, and then here's some more indie stuff. This is an Arthur pseudonym from Pacific Comics, Demons and Dreams. Some great Arthur pseudonym art on here. And then I got a whole bunch of Cerebus. And this is the Mothers and Daughters, and this is the arc within where, he's doing his take on Endless and the Sandman and stuff, doing a parody of it within the world of Cerebus. Alright, so there's 174, 198. Like I'm getting close to having a bunch of these. 206. I've been picking them up off and on for years and didn't realize how many I accumulated. 207. 209 with a little color, which you didn't really see that a whole lot in Cerebus. Okay, 210. You can see these. 212. We're going from Mothers and Daughters to Guys. And then I found a bunch of Echo. I've already got a whole run of these, of the Echo. This was like Neil Adams' Continuity Comics version of Heavy Metal Epic Magazine in the 80s. And, there weren't very many of them. But the thing about it is I keep going to these comic book conventions, and I'm thinking eventually I might be able to get Mike Golden, Arthur Pseudonym, and Neil Adams, and, some other people who worked on these books to sign one whole book. The first one would be phenomenal. There's an Arthur pseudonym. This cover's been used for a couple of other magazines and stuff. So if you did a little digging in Echo number 4, you'd probably find out that this cover's been used several times at different publications. Echoes of Future Past. There's more and more. And then we got a little Richard Corbin classics here, Children of Fire. I found another issue of this, I think. Then I found some Mobius, going back to my heavy metal roots as a child. Mobius, the Elseworld Prince. I don't think Mobius actually worked on this. I think it's his concepts, maybe a plot or two. Elseworld prints, same thing. And Mobius's Airtight Garage, the Elsewhere prints. So there you go. Bam! Number 2 in the Howlermouse Hustle of August during the great comic book tour in the year of our Lord 2014. Stay tuned for part 3.